All right, district breakdown time. We are in our last 5A district in the DFW, and we are talking 7-5A Division I. I got Matt Diggs with me, our high school insider, and we got athletes galore in this district, and probably state semifinalist here, if not a state champion. Talk about who you think. But now that I've already thrown that out there, who you think may go advance far, not only in this district but in the postseason as well.
Ward is bold. He is just going ahead and throwing it out there.
Let's
And
go.
probably, as much as we see football games, Ward, every now and then you get something new and you have those memories. And last year, I don't think it gets any more dramatic than that Longview Aledo game that you had fourth down, Longview driving to win the game, and then you get a rain delay right before the play with
Right.
just seconds left in the game, and that play went incomplete on the restart. Aledo was able to win that game, but Longview, they have some they have some question to ask. Who's going to be the new quarterback? How are they going to replace a generational talent like Jalen Hale? But Longview is so loaded in so many positions. They have to be a favorite to win this region again. Maybe a number 2 team in the state to get things started out with Aledo 1 and Longview 2. I mean, we can just talk about so many special players that they've got coming back. Taylor Tatum, one of the best running backs in the state. They've got him coming back. Billy Smith, a really talented defensive lineman, right up there with Nigel Smith. We're talking about Willie Nelson, a really talented safety coming back. Zarius Shepard, their defense is going to be one of the best defenses in the state. I think the big question for Longview is going to be how is their quarterback situation going to progress? And Andrew Tudd is expected to take over at quarterback. Will he be able to lead them? I think that's going to be the difference. Haas Haney was that player for Aledo last year. We said, how is he going to be? Is he going to be kind of the guy that can lead them? And out of nowhere, he was that guy. So can Andrew Tutt be that guy for Longview? If so, they have a really good chance to get to the state semifinals for a rematch against Aledo and maybe make it to that next level again next year.
Let's talk about a team that, first of all, you talked about Taylor Tatum. This district has solid running backs all over the place, and one of them is in the team that I think will probably finish second, and maybe you'll agree with at Lancaster with Kwan Lacey. Talk about that team, that running back, and where you think they'll fall.
Well, if you remember last year, a lot of people thought Longview was kind of a de facto state champion, that they were just going to beat Aledo and have an easy run to the state championship. And one team gave Longview a really good game all year before that Aledo game, and it was Lancaster. And a lot of people thought that if Lancaster didn't have to go to Longview and play that game there, if that game was a neutral site or anywhere else, that Lancaster would have won that game. Well, this year they got to come out to Lancaster and play that game. So I know Lancaster's got that date circled. You might even have that date circled. I'm scheduling games for you. 2 weeks ago, I scheduled Midlothian and Shoemaker for you. Now I'm going to put Lancaster and Longview here in Dallas on your schedule again. So I know you appreciate that I'm doing your September and October work for you. You can thank me later for that. But last year they were very heavy on the defensive side of the ball. They had so much talent on the defensive side of the ball. This year, it's got to be the offensive side of the ball that's got to lead them. Now, I kind of gave you a tease a couple of weeks ago about how I don't like the 2-headed monster when it comes to the quarterback. Lancaster has the 2-headed monster at the quarterback position, and Jaquavius Pipkin and Carter Jones. I still don't know how that's going to work, but you kind of alluded to it. They've got a really talented running back in Kewan Lacey. And that's going to really lead them into things. They've also got Cam Robinson, a very talented wide receiver, Tyrick Martin, and Emmanuel Choice. Their top 5 to 7 skill guys are some of the best in the state. If you put Lancaster's offense and Aledo's Longview's defense together, you probably got an all-star team. It's going to be kind of a fun style of matchups when you got that offense against Longview's defense. So that's going to be something to keep an eye on. I was talking to a couple of coaches, and everybody is raving about, you talked about Nigel Smith. We're talking about him as a freshman. Jacoby Williams is a very talented defensive tackle. And as a freshman, he just lit up this district. He's coming back for 3 more years, so keep an eye on that name. But Lancaster, very talented, and got a lot of young kids who are going to have to step into roles, kind of like we talked about with South Oak Cliff. It's going to be those young kids stepping up on defense that's really going to determine how good they're going to be. With Lancaster, how are those young kids going to step up on defense? That'll determine how they will be. But offensively, they're going to be fun.
Let's talk about some of the other teams, at least some of our area teams. McKinney North also has a solid running back, Walker coming back. And is that a team that can make the postseason as well?
McKinney North, they've got, how many times do we talk about a Markiewicz on this,
Yeah.
over the last few years? And they got another special one in Nate Markowitz, who's going to be a talented tight end. They've got their quarterback, Colin Hitchcock, coming back as well. So, I mean, there are so many players to keep an eye on. And they had a fun game out there when you were watching them. Houston area, when your 8-5A and 7-5A bi-district games are coming out. I know you're excited about, we get to, double dip when it comes to that. I think McKinney North is going to be a team that's going to be probably traveling out to the Houston area again. But a team I'm very excited about as well, I think, is going to make the playoffs is Forney. I mean, they are a team that's getting better year after year after year, and it's probably the last time they're going to be in 5A Division One. I think we'll probably see them going up to 6A, joining that Royce City and Rockwall district next year. But we've been talking about Take Bennett for the last couple of years. He's going to be coming back. Aaron Flowers, a special player that they've got coming back. Javian Osborne is an incredible running back. I think he could be a bobblehead candidate when he moves up to 6A. He was a freshman last year, so we got 3 years to keep an eye on him. So he's going to be a special player. Landry Hopkins is going to be a special player. The big thing for Forney, the big question mark for me, for them, is their quarterback situation. I don't even think as of right now they've settled their quarterback situation. And that's going to be, can they get the ball out there and throw the ball around? Because they've got really good skill players. They've got really good size on both sides of the ball, but can that quarterback come in and step up? I remember North Forney last year. I know we're talking a little 6A, a little 10-6A right now, but North Forney really struggled at quarterback, and I think that kept them from having the kind of success that they wanted to have last year. That could be the problem for Forney this year, because you got Lancaster's got two quarterbacks. Longview's going to be determinant on their quarterback, but McKinney North has got a really good quarterback coming back, and you're going to look at some of those two teams that are going to be right there competing for that fourth spot with them, Tyler High and Lufkin. Tyler High's got a really good quarterback coming back as well. So Forney, they got to figure that out, and they got to figure it out quick.
Well, I just got a text from Ted. He wants to know when you're going to start talking about the Mesquite teams. So what do you think about West and North?
We can talk about Mesquite teams because they're going to be at the bottom of the district right below Tyler High and Lufkin. I think you're going to see North Mesquite and West Mesquite playing one game to see who's going to get the one win this year. And I know he's not going to like that. Luke Cedar is a very special player. If you remember last year on the campfire, I said, watch out for North Mesquite. I didn't think that they were going to be a playoff team, but I thought they're going to be playing more competitively against teams, and they did. I think they're going to take that next step again. I don't think it's going to result in wins. I just don't think they have the depth to win some of these games against Tyler High and Lufkin and Forney and McKinney North. And then West Mesquite, they got Casey McCoy coming back at wide receiver, a very talented offensive lineman, and Sammy Aguilar. They just don't have the talent to play with Lufkin and with Tyler High. A name that you will need to know when they're coming out here for a couple of weeks, Kedron Young, a very special very special running back for Lufkin. Keep an eye on him. Timothy Hammond, a very talented quarterback, coming back for Lufkin as well. So, and Derek McFall is the name to watch for Tyler High. Tyler High is loaded. They're going to give Forney and McKinney North all they want. So do not be surprised if Tyler High steals one of those last playoff spots and sneaks in there. But I think given that McKinney North and Lufkin, or McKinney North and Forney, returned so much and they made the playoffs last year, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt to continue that for this year.
Well, I figured out your 1 through 4. Why don't you give me 1 through 8?
Got Longview number 1, Lancaster number 2, Forney 3, McKinney North 4, Tyler High 5, Lufkin 6, North Mesquite 7, West Mesquite 8. And it's a very tough luck middle of this district because McKinney North, Tyler High, and Lufkin, all talented teams, all teams you might see in our top 15 rankings at some point this year, depending on how they do. It's going to be very competitive football for that 4th playoff spot in this district.
So that'll be good. All right, Diggs, I'll see you next week.
See you next week.